Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Tawana Jones. I'm the Executive Director for We Reign Inc., a Philadelphia-based nonprofit organization that supports Black girls and what we like to call unapologetic living. And our work really centers on making sure that Black girls have the space and the opportunity to practice advocacy, activism, and community organizing skills. And our work really taps into the needs for out of school time programming here in Philadelphia and across the nation. We know that research tells us that we need high quality after school programs, and we really need them to be situated in schools because we know that high quality after school programs create better outcomes for young people. It increases educational outcomes, as you can see here, school attendance, as well as social emotional learning. And for older youth, we know that after school programming really gives them a safe space to go and reduces their engagement with risky behaviors that may lead to outcomes that are undesirable or unwanted for them, and increases the likelihood that they will attend college and or develop the career needed skills that they need to enter the workforce upon completing high school. And currently, 24.6 million children in the United States, this is a huge number, more than ever before, are unable really to access after school programming, and cost is a barrier for them. With the help of grants and community funding at We Reign, we provide after school and out of school time programming during the summer and the school year that is free. Not only is it free, but we also provide participants with a participant incentive for being a part of our programming and doing the work, because we love to center the idea that Black girl knowledge is critically important to the work that's being done across the country. And I'll get more into that in just a second. So what does REIGN stand for? REIGN stands for Rooting, Empowering, and Inspiring a Girls' Nation. And this work really allows us to tap into what is rooting. Our work connects young people, Black girls in particular, Black girls specifically, to people in their community who are community leaders. It connects them to intergenerational mentorship opportunities. And our motto is, if you are interested, we will find it. So we try to connect girls with people, Black women in particular, Black women specifically, who are on the same career path that they're interested in, young college students, Black women who are working, to make sure that girls really have a full range of understanding of what is available to them so that they stay rooted in their communities. We also support them in developing those family connections that they are as they grow into adolescence and young adulthood. We can sometimes see some disconnect there. And so we work with them to talk about their social emotional development and their social emotional learning so that they're able to really make strong connections in their community as their brains are being rewired in that adolescent age range. Empowering for us means that the girls that we work with believe that they have the skills, knowledge, and experiences to achieve any goal that they set for themselves, but in particular and specifically impact social change. And for us, inspiring means that they have this self-efficacy and desire to tackle those goals. So often when we think about empowerment, when we think about inspiration, some of those things can feel like high in the sky or really far away, but we really work with girls to make sure that they definitely are developing the competence that they need around their academic skill development, their social skill, public speaking, and things like that, so that they are rooted and ready to go when it's time for them to do their community work. And this programming is for any person who identifies as Black and girl. And one of the reasons why we really emphasize Black and girl in our programming is, one, because we are Black women who started this programming, but two, because when we were doing our research to find or develop programming that was in support of Black girls and their experiences, we found that there was a dearth of research that could guide us into developing programs that are specifically centered around the unique lived experiences of Black girls. Black girls are often centered in research and philanthropic investment and community program development. They're often centered between white girls and Black boys. And so they live in a space where there isn't really programming for them, but everybody believes that they're programming for them. I like to call them, they're hyper visible and hyper invisible at the same time. And so this nation part really is about making sure that Black girls have the opportunity to connect with each other in healthy and positive ways. There are lots of negative stereotypes about Black girl engagement, and we challenge those stereotypes by creating spaces where Black girls are becoming friends with each other, supporting one another, staying in community with one another, and really building a Black girl coalition that is prepared to be activated when necessary to support the needs of Black girls locally here in Philadelphia, statewide. We do statewide work, and also nationally, because we know Black girls live in every single corner of this country. And so these brave spaces, we want to make sure in these spaces that Black girls are visible. Here you see, so that not just their strengths, but also their needs, because we know we have the strong Black girls, strong Black women, but we also want to make sure that their needs, their voices, and their stories are centered as they define themselves and as they practice living unapologetically. So when we think about R.E.I.G.N, we're thinking about all of these things that we're using to develop our programming, and these are our very specific pillars that we're using to do that. Our unapologetic programming draws from many different areas that are consistent with what happens in schools and what happens in social service agencies, but we really focus on this intergenerational relationship building. We lean very heavily into social and emotional learning. We ensure that they are understanding of what it means to be politically and civically active and engaged. And we think very deeply about what it means to be a social change agent in their own personal lives and in their communities. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we mean when we say restorative practices. Many people hear of restorative practices and they think of discipline practices and discipline policies, because many schools have brought this into their spaces with an emphasis and a focus on derailing or disrupting problematic behaviors in schools. But we took a deep dive into what it means to be a restorative practice practitioner, and we come from restorative practices in a very proactive way. So our emphasis in our programming is on building relationships, maintaining community, and repairing harm. But as you see, repairing harm is at the far end of the continuum, and we spend a lot of time in this building relationships and maintaining community component for our programming. And when we talk about building relationships, we're talking about making sure that girls feel heard, because in research, we know that girls tell us that they are talking, Black girls in particular are telling us that they're talking, but people aren't really listening. So we create opportunities for them to feel heard. We create opportunities for them to practice listening carefully to others. And we create opportunities for them to be in relationship, again, not just with each other, but also with their community, with their families, with their legislators, with decision makers in their lives. Because we know that Black girls who are leading the charge are those who are going to be able to create a difference for them in the long term and in their futures. And when we talk about maintaining community, you see here that we're talking about hearing every voice. So we lean into what restorative practices consider to be fair process, where we listen to girls talk, we make decisions together, we make decisions collaboratively, we decide on the topics that we're going to research, we decide on they decide on the issues that they're going to tackle, they decide which community members they're going to reach out to and how they're going to reach out to them. So we like to think of ourselves as a backbone organization for the work that Black girls already want to do, but they really haven't had a space to do that work, because often they are silenced, or they're never engaged to think about or no one asks them what they think about the topic that's of importance in their lives. Several years ago, we published an article in Miss Magazine, and one of the first things that one of our participants said is that very often people are making decisions about the lives of Black girls without actually ever really talking to or knowing Black girls. And we know that this pans out in the research, as Black girls, again, are often disregarded, or there is limited interest in them in research and philanthropic investment and in legislative decision making. So again, building relationships is critically important for us, and we do this through making sure girls have opportunities to talk with each other, making sure that they have opportunities to work with each other, to engage others in their community through youth action participatory research, through one-on-one relationship building, and also just through conversation with each other, which is often not they don't have an opportunity to do that in schools. So building relationships and maintaining community are critical to the work that we do. And when we're thinking about the restorative practices continuum, we're often beginning with just simply talking about feelings, because we want to create emotional and psychological safety for our girls and make sure that they know that talking about their feelings, having feelings, and expressing feelings, that We Reign is a safe place for that to happen. The other three important components of our work are intergenerational mentorship, preparing to lead, and process over product. Our intergenerational mentorship comes from research that we've reviewed that tells us that Black girls want to be supported and they want to work with people who look like them, and they feel most safe with people who have experiences that are similar to theirs. So in our intergenerational mentorship, it's taken some time to develop, but we hire facilitators for our programs who are girls who have attended the schools that our girls, young women actually, who have attended the schools that our girls have attended, live in the same communities that our girls live in, or have some connection to understanding what it means to be Black and what it means to be girl in the United States, and specifically locally here in Philadelphia. We also have been able, fortunately enough, to hire girls who have actually come through our program. So when we are thinking about intergenerational mentorship, our current mentors are college students who've completed the program, and they are now working with our high school students who are in the program. And we also have a My World program, which is for our middle school girls, and our high school girls support our middle school girls. They all go through training to learn about what it means to be rooted, empowered, and inspired. And we support their work by building curriculum together, building programming together, and creating opportunities for our mentors to also practice the facilitation skills and program development skills that can carry them into the future as well. So it's secular, and that everybody is learning in our program. Everybody has the opportunity to practice in our program. And one of the most best comments that we received that I heard recently was that We.Reign never ends. So as girls know that as they continue to grow and they continue to develop, they can come back to our programs to support them, attend our events, work with us as a facilitator, and continue to contribute to the Black girl community that we're developing. When we're thinking about preparing to lead, we are specifically thinking about how we are supporting girls in developing resistance, the capacity to practice resistance. And when we're talking about practicing resistance, we're talking about speaking back to power. And so one of the things that we support girls in doing is understanding legislation and policy that impacts their lives, and learning how to be civically engaged in ways that make a difference through letter writing campaigns, through scheduling time to meet with their legislators in Harrisburg or in Philadelphia. Preparing to lead is about learning how to communicate your needs and your wants and your expectations to those who are elected to support and serve you. And this is also true when we think about going to school board meetings, when we think about advocacy work in the community, and also making sure that they understand that to be an advocate is to understand the issues, not just your issues, but the issues that are pertinent to your community. So that when you show up as a leader, when you show up as an example of someone, when you show up as a representative, you are prepared through the public speaking activities that we do, through the writing for publication activities that we do, through the preparation for engagement with community, through the youth action participatory research activities that we do. You are preparing to lead. The other thing that we think about when we're thinking about preparing to lead is making sure that girls feel competent. And we talked a little bit about that earlier, but this means that we often have to go back and develop skills or support girls in developing those reading, writing, speaking, and research skills that they may not have picked up in school. So we like to consider ourselves a partner with our school district in filling in the gaps, because we actually have the time to make sure that these things are happening and that they're developing these skills. And then finally, we're thinking about what contribution are they making to society. And so we ask girls to come with us, to join us, to speak again in Harrisburg, to speak at university courses, to host tables at community events, to talk about what it means to experience Black girl mental health as part of the panel. And so we create opportunities for them to contribute to the community as well, because that's a form of service. And we know that when you're serving your community and when you're talking to people about the issues that impact your lives, you actually are having an opportunity to build up not just your skill set, but your community as well. And finally, we talk about process over product. We don't talk about it, we live it. And when we think about process over product, we're really focusing on what does it mean to be in a space where learning is what's important and not the product. Very often in schools, students are rushed to complete something. There's a culture of right that exists in some schools where getting the correct answer is the only opportunity that you have to do well, or the only way that you know that you are successful. And in our program, we talk to girls, we train our facilitators about the concept of process over product. We want them to understand that developing the writing skills are more important than just turning in something that is incomplete. We want them to understand that making that phone call to let somebody know that you're not going to be available is more important than just not showing up and not saying anything. We want them to know that we're here to support them in developing the skills that they need in order to be competent activists, advocates, and community organizers, rather than rush them to complete a product just so that we can have something to show. And so this idea of process over product really is rooted in the ethos of caring enough about our girls and those who we are working with to make sure that they understand that their ideas, their thoughts, their words, and how they want to express themselves are as equally as important as a finished product that they may turn in or complete. So that's the way that we differentiate ourselves from what we see happening in schools. And very often, girls are able to carry their products over multiple internships. So in our internship model that we use, girls come to us for 15 weeks during the school year or 5 weeks during the summer to develop out these products that they're making. Some products have included our Black Girl Agenda, which you can learn more about if you follow us on social media. But thinking about community conversations, we host them at least twice a year on social media. We help girls to practice and prepare for those kinds of interviews. And we always teach them that showing up, right, and ready to go is more important because your thoughts and your ideas are critical. So intergenerational mentorship, preparing to lead, and process over product are the skills or the practices that we're using to help girls develop the skills that are necessary for them to become competent activists, advocates, and community organizers, to feel confidence in themselves, and also to build relationships within their community and with the girls who they are working with. Again, thinking about reigning, rooted, empowered, and inspiring a girls' nation requires that Black girls are connected to each other, that we're preparing them to lead, and that they understand the processes that are necessary in order to live out their dreams, their aspirations, and their goals.